Here with Jessica, Upfront's 2016. I have to tell you, I love Gotham. It is like my favorite show.
It is.
Tell me about this season.
Well, we start shooting it in about a week and a half, so I haven't even read a script yet. So I'm not really sure what they're doing. I just know they're going to continue from the craziness of the finale with next season.
You know, this past season, it was all about like the villains, rise of the villains. We saw a lot of them. Do you feel like the focus is maybe going to move to the heroes next season, or do you just not even have a clue?
I don't really know. I mean, I think it's actually going to be more villains because those monsters that were released from Indian Hill are going to be set loose in Gotham. And I've heard that they're going to introduce a few more. But your guess is as good as mine at this point.
You know what I really want? I really want to see Tabitha sort of like step out into her own. Like I don't want any more like Butch. I just want her to like turn into Tigress, you know?
Yeah.
Are we going to see this? Because I really want to see Tigress now. You know, they keep teasing little elements here and there. Is that something you'd like to see as well?
I'd love to. I mean, that's what I signed up to do, is to see her evolution and see her become Tigress eventually. So I hope, that happens sooner rather than later.
Is it sort of nice? I feel like, you know, when the character was first introduced, she was obviously like coming in with like Theo and they were sort of like a tandem. Is it nice to sort of like establish her as her own person now? And I feel like it's moving more and more in that direction.
Yes. I'm excited for her to get out of his shadow. I think she spent her whole life sort of under his wing and he's been telling her what to do forever. I think it's time. It's time for her to spread her wings, do her own thing. Can't wait.
What is this fascination with like Batman? I've seen so many Batman movies. I remember Michael Keaton. I remember then they had like Christian Bale. Like there's so many different versions. Why is this story so compelling? Why does it doesn't not even matter what year it is? People still care about Batman.
I love Batman. Batman's my favorite superhero, and the reason I love him is because he doesn't have any actual superpowers. Like he's a regular guy who's fighting crime, and I think that's more relatable. That's what I like it.
Now, I'll tell you, you know what my favorite show was before Gotham? I think this is going to blow your mind.
What?
I loved Melrose Place.
No.
I was like, first of all, the original, I've probably seen every episode, probably 15 times. When they did the spin-off, I was just like, this is the greatest show.
Yeah.
Is it nice sort of like playing a villain? Because I remember the two characters are like, they literally could not be more worlds apart.
Right.
So do you sort of like playing the bad character rather than the girl next door?
Yeah, I just like variety in general. So the fact that I get to do different things every single time I work is really what I'm looking for. I mean, Riley was a school teacher and, very naive. So yeah, night and day from Tabitha. And I get to do action and be physical and stunts, and that's been a lot of fun.
And tell me about that. Is there a lot of like training that goes into that? Because I mean, I feel like you've cracked a whip before.
Well, that's nice that you think that I'm fooling you, because no.
Oh, really?
No, I had maybe 2 days before the first time I used the whip. So I was just kind of winging it and faking it. But I've gotten better as the season goes on. And I was always really athletic growing up, so I just kind of draw on that.
And finally, for people who haven't seen Gotham before, can you sort of like is it something that you could still step into? I feel like it is. At the end of the day, is it just a good guys versus bad guys kind of story?
Yeah, I think so. I think the themes are pretty universal. I don't think, I also feel like everyone that I know and people I grew up with are somewhat familiar with the Batman mythology. There's been so many versions of it throughout my lifetime. So if you're even a little bit familiar, you'll be able to pick up on it.
And last question. I feel like the people who cast this show just are so amazing. Like, I feel like when I see Cameron, I'm just like, oh my gosh, she's totally a mini Catwoman.
Yeah.
And I feel like that about all the characters. What is their secret sauce? I feel like they picked the perfect cast to play these like amazing big roles.
Yeah, I just think they're some of the best casting directors out there. I mean, they cast The Walking Dead as well, and Breaking Bad, and so they're pros. They know what they're doing, and physically, I think the characters look a lot like what you would want them to be, and they paid as much attention to the physicality of you as a human as they did your acting, and that's why the characters feel so well established.
Amazing. Jessica, thank you so much.
Thanks.
Take
Nice
care.
talking to you.
Yes.